Hi, I'm Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel, and today we're going to be showing you the Bean Machine Beans Diesel new and improved fuel sump. Bean Machine. Woo! Our good friends at Beans Diesel, Bean Machine, they have come out with a new and updated sump. If you are interested in purchasing a sump right now and you've got access to YouTube, I definitely suggest cruising over to YouTube and checking out Bean's installation video that he did on his sump years and years ago. It's awesome, really good comedy. So if you want to laugh, go over and check that out. But it's also got some good stuff for you if you're considering purchasing one of Bean's sumps. Now, the name Beans and Beans Diesel has become synonymous with sumps, and that's the same thing that we have here. So they have gone back and updated their sump to add in a secondary line for return or for secondary supply if you want to. So let me explain that. So Bean's original sump was a one-port sump. You just had the suction side on the sump. They went back, re-engineered this sump, and they have added a dual port on here now. So your air dogs, your fastest, other fuel pumps, you can return the fuel from that pump, your upgraded lift pump. You can return that fuel instead of going to the filler neck. I had one laying around here, but I don't have it anymore. Sorry. I had a manifold laying around here for return. So a lot of the times you'll be returning back on some of the other kits. You return back to the filler neck. They go back to the fuel control module. This will actually let you run your fuel return back to the sump. So included inside of the kit comes with both of the fittings for those. These are 3/8. They can be used as push to lock fittings. I'm going to show you that right now. So they've got single barb on them, so they can be used as push to lock if you've got 1/2-inch hoses and you've got quick connects. Works really nice. Or if you don't want to use quick connects, you can totally use it as push to lock on 1/2-inch hose. Just push it up there, push it over the barb, and it will be tight. If you wanted to do a little bit of, if you want to kind of overdo it, you can put a clamp on there just to make sure that everything's good. So both of those fittings come inside of the kit, as well as a block off plug. If you don't want to use the secondary port on this sump, you can simply screw the block off plug in it and you don't have to worry about it. You can still run your single line suction pumps like your HPFP pumps from Fast, your adjustable pumps, or the Raptors from Air Dogs. They don't have a return for those pumps, so no need to return back to that. So you can just put the block off plug in here, no problem. These are O-ring fittings, really nice. So that helps to guard you from any leaks that you will have at the unit. So you just tighten these down. Don't get too crazy on the tightening. Again, these are O-ring fittings. They're going to seal, so just don't overdo it. Just use good common sense there. All right, so let's kind of do a little soft install. Not going to be installing one on a truck today, but we're going to do one on a cutaway. I'm going to keep this sump for display model for ourselves here at Thoroughbred. So let's talk about location when you are looking for the location to mount your sump. Now, according to Bean's instructions, they like to mount their sumps where your fuel pickup is going to be. So this is a Ford tank here, I think, that we did. Our fuel pickup would have been right here. Adam was telling me Dodge, but I thought it was, is it Dodge? Huh?
That's Diana's.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's off our pulling truck. It is Diana. It is a Ford. Okay, but anyway, so if you look at the bottom of this tank, it has depressions in here, which are rises inside of the tank where the fuel basket is oriented. In this instance, you could go right here and mount the fuel sump, and then you will be right there at the fuel module. Now, when you're looking at the bottom of a tank and you're looking for a place to cut your hole for the sump, you want to make sure that you don't cut it on these depressions. You don't cut it in these two depressions right here. Every tank is different. You want to make sure that you get a good, flat, smooth surface to drill your hole for the sump. That is the key to getting this thing sealed. If you do not drill it where it's smooth, it's not going to seal. You're going to have leaks and it's going to be a disaster. So you don't want that. See those two little buttons right there? That was for the slosh guard inside the tank where it mounts to. So again, pick yourself a good clean spot to drill your hole. Now, a word about the hole. The neat thing about Tank Sump is they send a hole saw with their kit. This is a 2-inch hole saw. It's to be used on one of these drivers, quick connect. So if you've got one of those, pop it right in there, 2-inch. You got yourself a hole saw, not only for this installation, but any other debauchery that you want to get into. All right, so installation. We found ourselves a nice, clean, smooth, flat portion of our tank. We're ready to install the Tank Sump. Now, you want to make sure that you get as much of the fuel out of the tank as you possibly can before you do this, because you are going to be punching a hole in the bottom of this tank. You're going to have fuel that's going to come out. It's going to get on you. So get as much of it out of the tank as you possibly can. If you want to be super, super safe, go ahead and drop the tank to install your sump. That way you can look inside, you can find out where the any obstacles or anything are inside of the tank. It gives you a good chance to go ahead and clean your tank out, which is always a good thing. So let's go ahead and punch our hole. Now, with these hole saws, you're going to have a pilot hole that's going to get started with that. If you want to run fuel out with that, you can start your pilot hole with the hole saw pilot. Now, when you get there, it doesn't punch all the way through for these hole saws. And while I'm talking here, I'm going to ease over and grab my personal protection equipment here, my eye protection. Sorry, Adam. Little interlude here, because I should have had these on before and you guys are going to pick on me for not having them on, so now we got them. All right, so you want to make sure that when you're doing this, that if you want to get every drop of fuel out of the tank before you start that, you can back out with a hole saw, come back in here with a drill bit, go ahead and punch through that and drain the rest of the residual fuel out of the tank. That makes it just a little bit cleaner when you go through to punch on through. All right, 21 metric, tighten down your hole saw. Here we go. All right, now, once you're through, one of the keys to this installation is to make sure that you get the tank cleaned out. Getting the tank cleaned out is super important. Obviously, you do not want any of these particles to go back through your fuel system, to be picked up by your high side injection pump and injectors and cause complete havoc on the bottom of this. When you're working on this from a tank side, you're going to be a little bit limited if you don't drop your tank. So you're going to be a little bit limited in what you've got there. I would suggest take your pocket knife, go on the inside of this with a smaller blade after you, before you do your final cleaning. Come through there and just take some of the nicks and burrs off of that. Just make sure that you get everything cleaned up. Be careful, use your brains. And just do good clean work there. So, installing our sump. Our sump has got a single bolt clamping system. You have a clamping plate on the sump itself. The clamping plate will already be installed on the sump in the package. So you've got to get that undone and then drop it. Single bolt design. This has got a very good O-ring that comes with it, large O-ring that will create a good sealing surface as well. Inside of the sump, You can see that in Bean's instructions, it will tell you the right side of the sump. You can see inside the port there. Let me make sure I get it right. The right side of this is supposed to be your supply side, larger orifice, smaller orifices for your return. If this is used as a dual supply orifice, or dual supply for your sump, if you have two external lift pumps, that's fine too, but it tells you in the instructions to use the right side for supply. All right, now I suggest before you do your installation to have a 1/4 inch Allen head as well. Go ahead and remove the fuel drain. This is the port for, this is a 1/8 27 plug. This can be used for a couple of different things. If you wanted to put a fuel temperature gauge inside of there, you could use it for a drain when you've got the sump. If you get a bad batch of fuel, quickest way to drain your tank, you can pull that plug out and there you are. I'm gonna take the plug out and I'll show you why when you tighten it down here in just a minute. Nice to be able to put a tool through there to hold everything. So make sure that you've got, first off, you've got everything clean. You didn't get any kind of contaminants inside of here that'll be picked up by your fuel pump. You want to go ahead and put your O-ring inside the recess there. Have the O-ring down inside of that. Now our clamping plate, we're going to go ahead and put this inside the tank. The notch that's here inside of the clamping plate, this goes in by sliding it over the tank itself, over the tank lift itself, and then that gives you enough to go ahead and bring the rest of it in there. So just like this, the clamp side, let's try to figure out how I do this the best way for camera angle. So when you're going to put this in the tank again, the cutout portion of the clamping plate, you just go ahead and insert that like that and roll it on in there. Now, when you clamp this, we'll bring this back out. When you clamp this, obviously you'll see when the way this is assembled in the package, this has a raised ridge here, or a raised section in the center of the clamping plate. That is going to go down inside of the hole. That is going to be used to center the sump itself and center this inside of the hole here as well. So, all right, so we've got our clamping plate in there. Now it's time to go ahead and put our sump up. So clean surface here. Again, this is just for a display for us. So we want to get our O-ring on. Our clamping plate is in. Go ahead and bring our sump to the clamping plate, making sure 100% that your O-ring stays in the recess. Adam's going to hand me the Allen headed bolt. The Allen head bolt for the clamping plate is a 7/32 Allen. So we're just going to go ahead and start that. So this is easy to do from where we are because we're able to get inside of here and work. Now, when you're ready to start tightening this up, okay, sorry, one more thing here. When you orient this, this clamping plate, you want to make sure that you orient the cutout and the clamping plate to where your supply and return is going to be. That just helps you with fuel flow going into the sump. All right, now our 7/32 Allen, we're just going to go ahead and tighten this down. Beans tells you to tighten this to 22 foot-pounds of pressure. I just barely snugged that. I just barely snugged that bolt up right there, and I can't even turn it at that point. If you are working inside of this and you're having problems with the plate, the clamping plate turning, what you can do is you can actually put a tool inside of here and put it on the clamping plate, and it'll stop the clamping plate from turning, and then you can tighten it down, but we didn't have that problem. So we're going to go ahead and reinstall our 1/4 inch pipe plug. I'll go ahead and reinstall that here. I've tightened this down to 22 foot-pounds. There's an Ugga-Dugga right there. German torque, Guten tight. 22 foot-pounds is what that is, folks, all kidding aside. And if it leaks just a little bit, use common sense. Go back and tighten it up just a little bit, but don't tighten it so much that you strip out fittings and make it just an absolute disaster for yourself. So there you are. There is our Beans diesel, Bean machine sump, dual port sump, the new and improved dual port sump. That's how it looks inside of the tank. If you, one more thing here, if you drill this at the fuel basket, you can see the bolt that Bean uses will protrude through there a little bit. You may want to take your drill, when you drill your hole, drill through the bottom of the basket to where this has got a place where you drill a hole in the basket, so for the protrusion of this bolt right here. So that I think that covers just about everything for the Bean machine sump. I'm gonna pull this off here real quick. One thing I wanted to show you, I'm a sucker for a good logo. I'm a sucker for a good logo. I love Bean's new logo. I'm going to show you guys that. It's for Bean Machine. It's the jaws of a lathe, but it's a cool logo. Bean's crossing over into doing a lot more manufacturing now. They're doing a really good job on this sump. So if you have a question about this installation or any of our other products that we offer, please give us a call, like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.